Go to sleep. Where are you? Oh, wait. Oh, shoot. You fix the live stream and get set up here 1 second. Make sure we're live. Oh, people's here. What's up? Man. I figured we could watch a little bit of this interview. Yeah, we're live, man. This is real. I'm actually here. Apparently, there was an interview that happened. I haven't watched the whole thing yet. But it seems like the attorney was kind of popping off a little bit. Steven Bertolino. Steven Bertolino. So I figured we could just watch it for a little bit. I think I used up all my notifications. Steven Bertolino. So there we go. Okay, audio's good. Boom, boom, boom.
And at the...
What's up, man? Have you guys seen the interview yet? It's on News Nation. Just fix this here real quick. Opening all the wrong stuff. Hey. No? All right, let's watch it up, man. He is burning up. I heard he was kind of popping off. I haven't watched it yet, man. I haven't watched it. We're going to watch it now. They posted the full video. They posted like 2 different parts at first. And then they posted, hey, what's up, man? Thank you guys for joining. And then they posted the full video after. So we're going to check that out. This is what it looks like when there's no notifications left. All right, let's try it out.
Mr. Bertolino, we thank you for your time. Some major news today, and the remains have been identified. Tell us what you've learned.
Just a short while ago, I confirmed with Chris and Roberta Laundrie that representatives from the Northport Police Department visited their home and advised them that the remains were positively identified as those of Brian.
Have they been asked to identify the remains in person?
No, they have not. We had previously provided items for DNA testing and confirmation, and my understanding is that is what was used to identify the remains.
Under the circumstances, I think, first of all, this is difficult news for any parent to receive. How are your clients doing?
I've been using the word distraught for the last couple of days now, and, they're extremely upset. And for some unknown reason, there are still people outside of their home, yelling and screaming and causing a ruckus, which, any parent that's grieving the loss of a child should not have to deal with that.
This has been a difficult few weeks for so many families, the Petitos as well. Do your clients understand the focus and attention on them?
Of course they understand it. And it's been, how should I say, it's been very difficult to bear.
Many have asked why they got a lawyer, why they hired you.
And?
I'm sorry, you cut out there. I'm going to ask that again. Why did your clients lawyer up?
Well, you used the term lawyer up. I've been a friend of Chris Laundrie for over 25 years.
So that's interesting. You guys heard that? It says he's been a friend of his for 25 years. So I guess that kind of makes sense as far as like why this lawyer, why this attorney. Yeah, someone farted. No, I think that was a motorcycle. It wasn't me though. Why this attorney, it kind of makes sense. They've known each other. Interesting. If you guys wouldn't mind hitting like, I've used up all my notifications for the day. Oh, you got a notification? Wow, I'm surprised. I've done over 3 videos today now. This is the 4th stream or video.
And when I got a phone call from Chris advising me that he was getting some inquiries from law enforcement, he asked me if I could assist him. And of course, I was more than glad to do so.
At any point in the last 5 weeks, have you spoken with Brian Laundrie?
Yes, I spoke to Brian Laundrie on September 12th and September 13th.
And what can you share about that conversation?
Not much. Any conversation I had with Brian Laundrie is privileged. I can tell you that, Chris and Roberta have been worried about Brian Laundrie since Brian went out for the hike on that Monday. And, from there's been a lot of speculation, a lot of accusations. A lot of news outfits have proliferated that misinformation. And I firmly believe that's why these protesters are out there, because this has just become a circus, which there's no need for it to be that way.
Did you ever see Brian Laundrie in person when he returned to Florida?
I did not.
And when was the last time his parents saw him before he went hiking?
The morning he left for the hike.
Have you believed over the last few weeks that he was alive?
We were hopeful that he was alive because we had not heard from him and there was no sign of him after all of the search efforts that law enforcement had made. Obviously, each passing day and week, we understood that there might be a grim reality coming in the future. Those were confirmed today.
Did Brian's parents share with you, did he share a plan with them?
A plan for what?
A plan for what he was going to do?
His plan was to go out for a hike and absorb the fresh air, is what I understand.
Was Brian in communication with his parents after he left the house on cell phone or in any other way?
No, he was not. I believe that was clarified, that Brian had left his cell phone at home.
Did Brian have any way to communicate?
And yet, excuse me, Monty, and yet the news outlets, indeed Fox News just yesterday, had an anchor and pundits on their air setting forth how the Laundrie parents and myself were communicating with burner phones with Brian over the last several weeks.
Well, I think there's a...
He's pissed. He finally gets to talk now. He's kind of angry. We're watching the full interview. This is up on News Nation, by the way. Thank you, for this super chat. I figured I'd just kind of come in real quick late night just to pop in and check out what's going on. We're also going to look at this weird Facebook page that Krissa sent me that's in support of the Laundries, as far as like they're popping off on people and defending the Laundries. I mean, I don't know, man.
There's a lot of questions that everyone has. So my question to you is, have you communicated with Brian at any point after you spoke with him on the phone on the 12th and 13th?
No, I haven't.
Did you know where he was?
I knew that he went to the reserve.
Let's talk about the reserve. A lot of people can't wrap their minds around the fact that the reserve had been searched week after week, was reopened to the public, and then less than 24 hours, the parents went out there. What did they share with you about their reasoning for going out there and why they knew specifically where to go?
Marnie, as I've stated several times yesterday and now throughout today, it's not about knowing specifically where to go. The park was just recently opened. I believe it was Tuesday or Wednesday that the park was open. Chris and Roberta wanted to go in the park again to search for their son. Specifically where to go was start at the beginning. And as has been, confirmed, both with a news reporter and with the police department and the FBI being present, they started at the beginning of the preserve. It just so happened that that's where Brian was. So my thought would be anybody who's questioning that, it's not too bright.
Well, clarify that, because I think no one has the answers here. Certainly the public doesn't. You have more answers than most. We assume that the parents knew more than we do. So clarify what the public doesn't understand about what's going on.
What the public doesn't understand, I don't understand. You have a trailhead. The trailhead marks the beginning of a trail. You don't jump from the sky and land in the middle of the preserve. You start at the trailhead. That's where the parents started. The parents walked into the park from the entrance to the park or the trailhead. They went about a mile or so, and that's where they found the items and the remains. What is so difficult to understand about that?
Well, I think it's hard.
Bro, this dude is like popping off and snapping. Actually, thank you for sending me the links to this tonight. I think a couple of people sent me the links after too. He's kind of popping off, man. And he's kind of addressing how they were able to find, you know, I guess Brian's belongings so fast.
Hard to grapple with the fact that the reserve had been searched so extensively by FBI professionals over the last 4 or 5 weeks, and they hadn't come across anything. And then all of a sudden, we have several items and human remains. I think that's what people aren't fully understanding, the timing of that.
So once again, I don't understand what the public doesn't understand. Everyone from the FBI to local enforcement to news reporters, to the Laundrie family, has confirmed that area of the park was underwater. I am told that it was waist deep at some times. So from 4 to 5 weeks ago being completely underwater, when the search teams went through there, what did they expect to find? Now that the water has receded, the woods off the trail are more accessible. It's not very difficult. Because it's very simple and the public doesn't understand simplicity or the truth.
Yo, this dude is something else, man. Holy crap. I'm just doing little pauses because I have to interject. I'm supposed to. I don't know if they're going to try to claim the video. If they do, it's okay. I understand. But
you want to make something of it. And when I say you, I don't mean you particular. I mean the public.
So walk us through the phone call that you got from the Laundries. Was this Tuesday night? They said, we want to go back out to the reserve. What was that conversation like, and what did they tell you?
So to be clear, I talked with the Laundries at least twice a day for the last month. And when I spoke with them on Tuesday evening, Chris informed me that he wanted to go to the reserve on Wednesday with Roberta. They wanted to know if I thought that was a good idea. We talked about it. I said, it absolutely is a good idea, and it's fine, you should go. But are you concerned about being followed by the press? They indicated to me that they were concerned about the press, but they were willing to deal with it as they've been dealing with it. I said, I think it's a good idea to notify law enforcement, and I did so through a text message to my contact at the Northport Police Department. The responsive text message was a very short, thank you for the heads up. Wednesday morning, when Chris and Roberta were at the preserve at 7 a.m., law enforcement was there respectfully to accompany them. And what I was told afterwards, that their main purpose or concern was that the press didn't harass the Laundries through the preserve.
Did they ask you to contact the police?
No, they did not. Obviously, you know, it was something that I suggested, and it's a good thing that we did. You know, it's imagine what the public would be thinking if the police weren't there. Imagine what
somebody say, who is this, Joe Pesci?
The public would be thinking if a lot of this wasn't caught on video. And still, with an independent reporter and a representative of law enforcement from a local agency, a representative from the FBI being present, and you still have these nonsensical people putting forth ideas that certain items were planted.
You've called that hogwash. You've called the suggestion that items were planted were hogwash.
Let him talk. Let him talk. I get it. She's doing a good job, but let him talk. You let him pop off.
Why is that?
I'm sorry, we were speaking over one another. Can you repeat that?
Yes, of course. You have suggested that any claims that the Laundries planted items in the reserve is hogwash. Why?
Marnie, I thought I was very clear in just explaining to you why. If you've got the FBI, the local PD, an independent news reporter, all there at the same time seeing the same thing, you've got quote unquote surveillance of the Laundries 24/7 by protesters and people of the press. When did you think these items were planted? And do you really think the Laundries had skeletal remains of their son, you know, in a plastic bag and brought them to the preserve? Do you realize how ludicrous that is? How aggravating, how maddening it is to even hear those things? And the fact that it's being put out there by the press as well? That's where my level of frustration and anger is coming from. Maybe somebody with a platform should step up and say, hey, knock it off. This is just silly. So if I'm the only one who has to say that this is hogwash because I didn't want to say the word bullshit, then I'm going to say it. It's bullshit. And I'm sorry if John Q. Public doesn't get that.
Let me ask you, Mr.
Bruh, I have not watched this. I wanted to watch this together with you guys, so it's just surprising to me. I didn't know this dude was snapping, popping off. He's tired of the shit. Yo. Holy crap. And I wonder, are the protesters going to stop or are they going to continue? I didn't know this dude. Popping off. I want to play that last part again. Damn, yo.
You know, in a plastic bag and brought them to the preserve. Do you realize how ludicrous that is? How aggravating, how maddening it is to even hear those things? And the fact that it's being put out there by the press as well, that's where my level of frustration and anger is coming from. Maybe somebody with a platform should step up and say, hey, knock it off. This is just silly. So if I'm the only one who has to say that this is hogwash because I didn't want to say the word bullshit, then I'm going to say it. It's bullshit. And I'm sorry if John Q. Public doesn't get that.
Let me ask you, Mr. Bertolino,
Wow.
from the very beginning, the public has been watching this case unfold, starting with Gabby's disappearance. I think everyone understands your client's right to stay silent, to not talk. That silence does not presume guilt. However, in the court of public opinion, the last few weeks have been difficult. Legally, I understand that argument. But ethically, did they ever consider reaching out to the Petitos, reaching out to law enforcement in help finding Gabby?
Unfortunately, Marnie, I can't have that conversation with you at this time.
Why is that?
I just can't. It's not the appropriate time to have that conversation.
But it's an ethical conversation, not just for the parents of Brian, but for you as an attorney. At any point when they were searching for Gabby, did you feel the need, compelled to help?
I can tell you that at this moment in time, Chris and Roberta Laundrie just learned that their son's remains were identified. He is now no longer with them. At some point in time in the future, there may be more information as what I felt, what the Laundries felt, what we, quote, ethically, thought about the case. Now is not the time to do that. You've asked me the question
Yeah, thank you guys in the chat.
2 or 3 times. And I'm going to respectfully tell you again, it's not the time to discuss that.
Have the Laundries reached out to the Petito family at all? And has the Petito family reached out to them in recent days?
The Laundrie family has not reached out to the Petitos, and to my knowledge, the Petitos have not reached out to the Laundries.
What are the Laundries' plans now?
At the moment, they're going to grieve their son.
And then what?
Monty, I don't mean to be rude, and I know you have a job to do. They were just told less than a half hour ago that their son is deceased. Do you think that they really have thoughts on anything other than that their son is no longer with them?
No, and I respect their privacy, and I can't begin to imagine the pain that they're going through. I just know that so many of us have questions about what has happened, not just to Gabby, but to Brian. The nation has been watching this search for him, what turned into a manhunt across the country. And so we are curious. We want answers. You're the closest to the family, and I want to know how they're doing. I want to know what their plans are.
Monty, I don't have any information on the plans that the Laundries have. And I want to tell you, because I've got to stop myself, I'm taking some of my anger and frustration out on you. As you may know, I knew Brian Laundrie since he was an infant, since he was a small child. This is hard. I shed a tear or two today as well. I've shared that with the Laundries.
So he's been a family friend for a very long time, not only with Christopher, but he says he's known Brian since he was an infant. Really interesting.
The fact that the public is continuing this nonsensical, we're hiding him in the beginning, we've fed him food, we've communicated with him, and every platform because you hear that if you have a platform, you should use it for the good. You respect that they have the right to remain silent. But there are people in your position, maybe not you, but in your position, that never once pushed back on these so-called experts and pundits who did nothing but say, this is immoral, this is unethical. Somewhere along the line, somebody with a platform, someone in your position should have said, hey, you know what? Back off. This is America, and in our system of justice, they have the right to remain silent. So I'm kind of a little perturbed that now I have to go back and explain how we didn't plant remains and personal items in a preserve when the upper echelons of law enforcement is telling everyone this is legit by their actions, by their words, and yet we have to now go back and somehow educate John Q. public? And you guys perpetrate this. You put it forth. And you
well, I'm going to stop you right there.
No. Don't stop. It's true. It's true.
I have said a number of times that the Laundrie parents have every right to remain silent, whether the public agrees with that right or not. But our search is for answers, and that is where it will continue to lie. Answers not only in what happened to your client, Brian Laundrie, and what happens with his parents moving forward, but also what happened to Gabby. And there are many who are concerned that we may never know what happened in this case, given what has transpired today.
As I've said now for probably the fourth or fifth time, today is not the day to discuss that.
You know what I want to ask you? I want to ask you, Mr. Bertolino, you mentioned that you have known Brian for years. That is one thing that we have not been able to get much on in the last month and a half. Who is Brian Laundrie? What kind of person was he? What do you know about him that you're willing to share?
Marnie, I know him as the child of a friend of mine. I didn't go to school with him. I didn't hang out with him. He's 30 years my junior. So to ask me what type of person he is, I'm sure he was a good kid, just like every parent says their kid is a good kid. When all is said and done, I'm pretty much, how shall I say, not going to discuss anything further other than what type of child Brian was, other than to say, Brian is no longer with us. The family is mourning, and I would hope that we could, let them mourn, let them grieve, and maybe somebody besides myself could come out and say, hey, protesters, go away tonight. Can you do that?
I just have a couple more questions. Have you spoken with Cassie?
Not today, but I have spoken with her and Jim recently, yes.
Do you plan to continue to represent the family moving forward, and do you see a need for that?
I will be representing the family as long as it's necessary.
Anything else you'd like to share and clarify about what has happened?
No, I just want to apologize to you as an individual for my anger and frustration, but I've been dealing with this all day, and I've put out some statements that this is nonsense. And to hear it come from a platform like yours, that the question is even posed. I get that the internet is a whole different world, that the Twitter world and the people who play in that world, I understand that they may have a need for this, but for more respectable organizations to do the same thing, I find troubling.
What do you find so troubling about the public's curiosity and search for answers?
Curiosity and search for answers is one thing. Coming up with completely off the charts in the scheme of reality, propositions of literally planting evidence, planting articles, even planting the remains, it's just beyond, it's beyond compare. That's what I find troubling.
So just one more thing about that, and I promise I will let it go. Did your clients go out to the reserve prior to yesterday morning on their own at any time?
Yes, they did. Back in early September, I shouldn't say early September, mid-September, which would have been the 14th and the 15th.
Were they there with Brian or with authorities?
No, they were there on their own. That was the day after Brian had went for the hike and didn't come home.
And what did they do there?
They walked around the trails looking for Brian initially.
Is this when they picked up the car?
On the second day, they picked up the car, correct.
Did they find any items or anything that led them to believe that he was out there at that time?
Beside the car? No.
All right, Mr. Bertolino, we appreciate your time. I know this is a difficult day for many, including you. We thank you for giving us a moment to talk about it.
Marty, once again, I want to apologize to you because I don't mean to take my frustration out on you. You are the first person I've spoken to since I've learned the news. And, I'm upset, I'm angry. And for the last 4 hours, I've been dealing with, I have to just call it nonsense.
Well, I'd like to extend an invitation to you to come back on when you're ready to share more, and also to Brian Laundrie's parents when they're ready.
Good enough, Marty. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, Ashley sent me the link, and I was kind of watching a little bit of clips, but I like to watch things together for the first time with people, so I was like, let's watch it together. But she was sending me clips, and I was like, yo, this dude's kind of popping off. Let me show you guys another thing real quick. Apparently, there's like a Facebook group, and I don't know what to think, man. I don't know what to think about this whole. Can I do it like this? No, I gotta do it like this. I don't know what to think about the whole skull and dental records, and I believe it's him. I don't know how long he's been there. They said that it was it badly decomposed? I think the words were. I don't know. We talked about the dogs earlier today, the cadaver dogs, and how they should have been able to, pick up a scent, even if it was under the water. But there's a page. Chris has sent me this. Oh, and I'm going to read the super chats too. I haven't forgotten you guys. I'm going to read the super chats. But there's a page. It says, leave the Laundries alone. And they're pissed. They're firing back at people. This is what happened. Please read carefully all details. The lawyer is talking now, and it will come out. Brian went home and told his parents that Gabby and he had a fight. Cassie accidentally said it. That's why he always did, meaning take a break she was going to say fight, but the FBI told her don't say anything. They didn't want him to know she told them because they wanted him, if he was lying, to tell different stories to other people who could later testify as a witness. But she messed up and said, that's police stuff. Gabby's dad did not go to the house at 6:30 on Friday on the 10th of September. They started texting Brian. They didn't have Cassie or the parents' numbers. I'll put the link in the comments that Gabby's dad never went to the house. They didn't have the number. Brian's parents found out on the 11th from the police that Gabby was missing, not dead. They called a family friend, a lawyer, who said, don't talk to anyone. Give them my number and I'll take care of it. So they did. Saturday on the 11th, late afternoon, and Sunday, they realized Gabby was missing and still thought Brian was telling the truth. The whole time he was home, before knowing she was missing, they thought she was with a friend. They shared the van. Gabby and Brian lived in their condo, not with them, and they shared a van. Nothing was unusual to them or to Cassie. It was just a couple taking a break. The lawyer is old like them. He doesn't use the internet. He has a very bare web page and advertised by word of mouth. Even Roberta's friend who helps admin this page is always getting confused who wrote something, uses dictation to type, and is always accidentally hiding or deleting or hiding comments. Instead of banning people from the page, she would just block them from hers. LOL, a lot of older people don't understand social media and the impact of its case. And this was true for the Laundries and their lawyer. Brian was a very private and didn't even have IG until Gabby and the Laundries and their family are the same. This has been a nightmarish for them. Sunday, they were learning like everyone else the details on the news. Cassie was in Orlando at Disney with her kids when she found out from the police and left vacation early. Everyone was thinking this has to be a mistake. She didn't even tell her kids about Gabby because they would ask questions that they didn't have the answers to. But the protesters screamed, "Brian killed Gabby!" so loudly that they found out in the traumatic way that their beloved aunt was dead and their hero uncle was missing. Oh, hell, those are kind of long. Monday, Brian took off during the chaos with the protesters. The parents, I guess, realized it Tuesday, and they told their lawyer, who told the FBI. The local police didn't find out or realize until Friday. They didn't see him leave. They drove to every spot until finding the Mustang at the reserve. Brian parked it in a way that he wanted to be found dead. But it rained that night, and the next day flooded. They hiked looking for him one day for 5 hours, I think on Wednesday, and hours another day. His body was close to where he parked, but underwater. When he came home, they got him a new phone. He said he lost it. I think he destroyed it. They brought him a new one on their plan at AT&T. You buy a burner phone at Walmart. I had several, not at AT&T. Right, that's true. You can get those phones at Walmart. Give me 1 second. If you're out camping, it's not unusual to lose track or break a phone, and his parents thought nothing of it. The phone and his wallet was left behind, which that was in the article. They knew he was dead and in the reserve with no phone. That's why they never tried to go on TV or find him. He possibly took his gun, and it'll probably come out that he died of hanging or self-inflicted gunshot wound, but that's my speculation. They took the car so it didn't get towed, and have been knowing their son was probably dead this whole time. Their lawyer was going to give a press conference to clear them, but the FBI told him to cancel it. They reopened the park today, and yesterday they told their attorney they were going to look where they thought Brian is. Now that they can search, the police met with them. Chris took the police through an area, and they zigzagged. He found a bag and 2 items. He whispered to Roberta, and they put the items into the bag because there was a reporter there. They gave it to police. It was a white dry bag that protects items being waterproof. The police told Chris and Roberta to go home because they found something. It was Brian's backpack and his skull. They went home, and it was reported that the protesters were screaming, "Brian is rotting in hell," which I did hear that. And they became emotional and broke down. This is what happened. I'm busy, but I will answer any questions that are respectful. Anyone being nasty, go to the dozens of other pages for it. You'll be banned. Damn. So this is like a page that was created, and I guess they're snapping, popping back. Oh, let me read the super chats. Chris has sent that to me. I thought it was kind of interesting. I don't know if there's any validity to it, but I was like, oh, snap. Let me check out the super chats here real quick. Yo, I appreciate you guys joining kind of late night. I don't know what to think anymore, man. This shit has just been like going crazy nonstop. And I wonder what happens from here. Is this kind of it? Is there going to be more? Could there be a civil lawsuit? I mean, we're still going to wait for the cause of death for Brian. If they could even find out, where's the rest of his body? Did animals get to it? Ems, thank you for the super chat. 10 Edwina 10. I hope that now they confirmed his remains, the Laundries can make a statement or a press conference and apologize to Gabby's parents. Stephanie, thanks for all you do. I love your different voices. Thank you, Stephanie. Marley, he's angry as if he lost a loved one. Mr. Potato Head, stick to real estate. Good job, Mel. I support you. Thank you, Marley. Appreciate that. The Dre Effect, welcome back. So I guess the 2 of them are better than the FBI. Bruh. Isn't that crazy? And only a mile or so in. Get the F out of here. He's his own reality show. For real. Adacor, thank you for the super chat. Text the Ranch, thank you for the super chat. Matt, a lawyer with a gaming chair is usually a dead giveaway. Is that what he had? Was that a gaming chair? Was it really? Yeah, I'm going to have to go back and look. Take a quick look. Hold on a second. I actually need one of those kind of chairs. I mean, the chair I have is comfortable, but I want to get a gaming, because they're supposed to be really comfortable. Let me see real quick. News Nation. That dude was popping off. I don't know why they censored the word BS, because CNN and all these other channels always put those words out. I mean, I guess it was good, I guess, to censor it. I don't know. It wasn't a gaming chair, was it? Oh, snap. I think it might have been a gaming chair. Not that it matters, but those chairs are really comfortable, I guess. I mean, I can't tell. I mean, the conspiracies are pretty out there. He's probably not used to all this internet stuff, like the craziness. Maybe he is old school. I mean, I've seen the media do some really interesting things that I've never seen before. I mean, I guess I'm a part of the media, but like independent. But I saw a lot of things that I've never seen corporations do before. I guess maybe it's them adapting. Mike Chan, thank you for the super chat. I wish the reporter would ask, did the Laundries have a reason to suspect him to be the type of person to off themselves before doing on a hike? Why let him go hiking? That's true. I don't know. They did say that supposedly they feared that he was going to hurt himself. You know. If you don't like it, too bad. Why would Brian take a dry bag with him if that was his stuff and the officer carry it without gloves? I don't know. I don't even know if that was Brian's bag or not, that dry bag. I don't know if that's just what they had with them and they put it in there, or if Brian actually had that and put like the notebook and stuff in there. The Dre effect. He made conflicting statements. That's what Ashley said too. They found remains a mile in, but didn't see him or anything when they went out there alone. Maybe they planted his body. Oh, Lord, don't say that. Bertolino's going to pop off on you. Okay, maybe that's a little out there. The JFX said maybe went there to say goodbye and set the scene. Bro, I really don't know. I mean, I don't know what to think anymore, man. Stacy, thank you for the super chat. Let me just read the regular chat and then we'll head out of here. I just want to pop in for that. Just to bro, this dude was really, really popping off. Oh, by the way, on Discord, man, we hit 1,000 people, which is really dope. I got some new features enabled on Discord, so definitely, if you guys are interested, check out Discord. It's going to be growing. I'm going to be having people helping me set up the place. It's going to be a pretty cool, chill, whatever. And if anybody's toxic and crazy, you're getting banned. Just like that. Abit, thank you for the super chat. Senseless death and violence from the beginning. Yeah. LJ, thank you for the super chat. I mean the membership. I was surprised too when I saw that some of the media corporations were going into Discord. I was like, what? They're doing Discord now? I think it was JB. I was like, wow. Are they watching? This iCkEdMeL guy's talking about Discord. Let's do it. I mean, it's not a bad idea. I think it's a good idea. But stories like this, I mean, this story definitely was crazy. But when it comes to like DV, I mean, I've heard of a lot of stories like this where somebody is either jealous or they have violent tendencies and issues, and then they kill their significant one and then they go off themselves. Never made any sense to me. Never made any kind of sense to me. And we had that. There was that story that we covered, Thessalonica, Alan, that crazy. That one, I guess the guy was getting ready to leave the relationship, the violent, like the horrible relationship he was in. They had kids. I don't know if it was his kids, like with her, or she had her own kids. But this chick, when he's getting ready to leave, she shoots him because she didn't want him to leave. And he starts bleeding out. And while he's bleeding out, he's telling the kids, call 911. The mother says, don't call the cops. So they're just like standing there. Then this chick cuts up his body, cuts him into pieces, and tries to have the kids help her move the body. No lie. I covered that story on the channel. Craziest. Crazy. Texter Ranch, did the attorney say as to why Brian's parents didn't take Gabby's parents' calls? No. And that's a good question. Where was their empathy towards Gabby's parents? Yeah, I didn't hear that. Lisa, thank you for the super chat. Dude, you have done a spectacular job covering this story. I'm a lifetime subscriber. Thank you. I enjoy your laid back attitude, especially during Q&A. You're awesome. Thanks. Oh, and by the way, I put this guy's video, the one from earlier today. I put him in the community tab. Aaron did a really good job, man, with this. I highly recommend you guys check this out, this video out. Oh, wow. People already hit like and stuff on it. This video, this guy did a really good job. Deserves credit. Aaron Mull. He did a breakdown, and he reached out to me on Twitter, and he's been reaching out for a couple of days, and he's like, yo, I got this video, you can check it out. And so he broke down how far the entrance was to where Brian was found. Like, he did an amazing job with the maps. If you type in Aaron Mull, or you could just go to my community tab and you'll see his video. You can check out his channel. And people were asking and requesting, like even on Discord, they were like, yo, can you do some more stuff? And can you do for some other stories? I think he's a natural. So definitely go and check him out. I might have him on sometime too. I'm working on the guest thing and stuff like that. So, but yeah, with the whole DV stuff, there's something next week. There might be an event next week with another channel and a couple of channels, a collab that we might be doing. That's going to be a fundraiser for DV. So I'll let you guys know about that if that happens and what day. Like a charity stream kind of thing, which I think is good, like for a good cause. I don't want to say too much because until things are confirmed, you know. I'll put Aaron's video in the description again. I'll put it in the description. You can check out my community tab, or I'll just add it right now. Just add it to the description. You can go check out his channel in the video. It's like a 7 or 9 minute video. He did a really good job. Super easy to understand. Explainer. But yeah, man. If you're in that kind of situation, the best thing I can say, and I know it's easier said than done, is just get the hell out. Just get out. Just get out. Nothing's gonna change. Nothing's gonna get better. Don't believe it. And when you get out, have a plan. Because they always say, you know, it's dangerous when you're getting ready to leave. That guy was getting ready to leave, and he told the woman, and the woman went and shot him. And then cut him up. Thessalonica Allen. I'll never forget that woman. And she looks crazy as hell, too. Thessalonica. In front of the kids and everything. Just get out, man. And a lot of times with those people, if you're friends with them, or they're family members, they don't want to get out, and there's kind of nothing you can do. The only thing you can do is just try to be supportive. You know, but some people, you know, they don't want to get help until they're ready, until they're finally fed up. But waiting will get your ass killed too. It could be the last time, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, there's so many stories, and vice versa, either man or woman. Some of these guys, they go kill the woman and the entire family and then kill themselves. Sam French, thanks for the super chat. Should ask if BL killed. No comment. There's answer. Well, all the sightings got quiet now. There's no more sightings of Brian Laundrie. They thought this guy was everywhere, man. Canada, Mexico, a couple other countries, man. Different states, everywhere. And it seems like this guy was here the entire time, I guess. Kind of odd. Yeah, definitely do your research. Have a plan. I'm not no expert, you know. I'm just from my little personal experiences. Just get out, man. I think people get so caught up in those situations. That's why I enjoy my peace. I don't want to deal with drama. I don't want somebody that sucks the life out of you either. It's just somebody draining you the entire time. Daisy Girl, thank you so much for the super chat. Can you do calls? It's kind of late. I feel like if I do calls now, this live stream is going to end off really long. I'm going to do calls, I don't know, maybe tomorrow or this weekend. I think we could have a little fun. And I mean, I don't want to say fun, you know what I'm saying? I say fun because sometimes the calls are kind of crazy, you know, but no, we're going to do something soon. I feel like if I do calls now, we're going to be too long up and stuff. So I want to get some sleep. Look at the people saying, do calls, do it, do it, do it. Yeah. Check out Aaron. Subscribe to him. He may do more videos. I don't know. I might have him up sometime. Like actually collab. Come on sometime. Yeah, it's best to do it quietly, man, because you know it was. I mean, I was a little surprised to see. What kind of got me a little bit too was just the whole thing with. I mean, I said it earlier. Just the whole thing with this coroner, this dude. I mean, I get it was a long time ago. This dude over here shooting at his ex. I mean, I his ex-wife. I know. I guess they say people change. For me, man, if it's me personally, that's a great saying. That's awesome, I guess. But for me, I don't care how long it's been. I'm not interested. If you've shot at your ex person just because they're trying to leave or whatever, yeah, you're nut in my book. All right. And so, yeah, great for you that you've changed, but we don't need to be associated with each other. It's been years and years. He's changed. All right. Great for him. Don't go back. Nut. Do that kind of stuff just because somebody's leaving. And that's acceptable. And then you want to give a whole speech on TV and all this stuff? Out of here with that, yo. Seriously. And then, I'm not going to say the person's name, but then I heard about this, one of the protesters and stuff, strangulation, all kinds of stuff. I'm like, really? And you're over here like, oh, die, Brian. You're a horrible person. Bitch. Do you know what you've done? I'm just looking at this thing like, bruh. Die, burn in hell. You did the same thing. The only difference, I guess, is that person's still alive. What the hell? Who are these people, yo? A friend of mine was talking to me earlier. She said a really, I'm not going to repeat it, but I mean, it was kind of funny. I'm not going to repeat it, though. But yeah, I think that's it, man. I really appreciate you guys joining. I don't want to do the stream because, I don't want to do the calls because I know it's just going to run late and then I'm going to be tired tomorrow. I think we should just get some rest. Because tomorrow I'll be able to put some videos out and go hard again. All right, man. I'm out of here. Yo. You guys have a good night. Definitely join Discord. Check out Discord, man. We had 1,000 now. We got options opening up. It's a nice little chill area. If you're toxic and crazy, we're booting you and banning you. That's even one of the rules. Apparently, with this new server, it literally said, did I save it? It literally said one of the rules from Discord itself. Something about toxic people and something else. I don't think I saved it. Not allowed. So it's not even my own thing. Discord says it. All right. So, but yeah, you guys have a good, more speculations tomorrow, y'all. Yeah. Good night, guys. Take care, man. We'll see what happens. Don't call in. We're not doing call-ins. Why are you putting the phone number? Melody. Yeah. I'm going to bed. You guys can call. I'm going to bed. Oh, she said it's an accident. I'm going to bed.